All right, guys. I see we already got folks in here. Yeah. Oh, who's here already? Let me scroll back a little bit. Licks and Lyle and Furious and Johnny Boy and Empire Jeff and Blazer and Chauncey and Andrew, Fluffy Morgan, Burnt Pyromaniac, Philip, Big Green, Furious. Hey, I'm glad to have you guys. I've got a couple of things. This is a perfect free for all Friday because weird shit has been happening already for me, and I want to share a couple of the things with you. For Brawl Stars are here. Yeah, I don't know what it means either, Licks. We're gonna figure it out. Wet blanket, Anthony Cardona. Okay, here's number one. Now I saw first of all I saw Morgan when I first came in. Morgan, I assume you're still here. Morgan sponsored a G100 video, which it was just over at the Goose. It was episode 25 of Death Note, that episode, with the commentary, DVD commentary. Now, I just posted it, watched it earlier today, recorded it, edited it, and everything. And then what happened was when Premiere Pro, when it rendered it and sent it out, for some reason, I don't know if this had anything to do with it or not, it hung up on the screen where it says, 100% complete. So rather than just that pop-up box going away after it was completed, I had to click off it. Now the video file is fine. It uploaded fine to Mega. I just double checked it. It's been posted. But now that video file it created has magical, mystical powers. I can't move it. I can't delete it. I can watch it. It works fine. But I cannot in any way, shape, or form get rid of it. How the fuck is that possible? I have a decent amount of computer knowledge. I mean, I'm not nearly as well versed as many of you, but I've never seen anything like that before. How is that possible? Oh, the video is fine, Morgan. For you to watch everything is fine. I'm just curious about that. I've never seen anything like that before. That particular file, and the file works fine. I can watch it beginning to end off my computer without a problem. So it's not corrupted in that respect, but you can't move it to a new folder. You can't delete it. You can't cut it and paste it elsewhere. It ascended, became immortal. That's what I'm thinking, Shelby. I think I've got something especially. And how creepy is it that it happens on episode 25 of Death Note? Fuck it, I dodged. It sounded like some Shinigami shit. It's true. I should, let's see. Let me see if I can grab. Oh no, I'm on fucking Streamlabs. God damn it, they're a pain in the ass. If I was on I might be able to get it. It's all Rem's fault. Yeah, so I'm thinking, Morgan. Let's see if I can. Can I grab a screen grab of that? Let me try something here on Streamlabs. Hold on. Let's see. Streamlabs is a pain in the ass for. Is that it? Hey, I think you can see it. Hold on. Oh, no. Let me see if this will work. Yeah, this. Okay, this might grab it. And oh. Okay, you guys can see that, right? All right, now watch this. Watch this. Let me pull that up. Nothing. Will not delete. Cut it. Okay, now it fades out like it's been cut. Now here's where I put it in the G100 folder here. And paste. Get the same thing. See, I've tried to do it this many times already. And it's trying to cancel them, and apparently it can't. It can't do anything. It can't do anything. Yes, we want to cancel all transfers. Well, that's the first time it asked me that. But it still didn't complete canceling them. How is any of that possible? Anybody got any ideas? I don't have any idea how that works. I've never seen anything like that. Brian says, hey guys, update on my battle with the corona. I get out of isolation on the 20th. Thank God I got 2 words for it. Fuck off. Oh, I'm glad you're moving along, Brian. I'm glad you're moving along. Good. Glad to hear you out of the isolation. And yes, I agree with you on fuck that. Lick says I blame funny Death Note man for it. Isn't that weird though, you guys? Oh no, it's not your problem at all. Your fault at all, Morgan. Actually, because the file you sent me is fine. I can work with that all day. It's the file I created. Try turning it on and off again, Lick says. X-Files theme starts playing. I know, Big Green. It was just amazing. I'll figure it out one way or another. Even after a restart, it may just go away. But again, somehow or another, I'll figure it out. I've never seen anything like that. That's... Philip says, have you tried praying it away? As in like praying away the gay? Yeah, in the old days? Well, actually, there are still people who think that. Doing good, Haroon. But I just wonder, so I can safely say that none of you guys have ever seen anything like that either. I thought it was just me. I thought, all right, let's see what does, all right, let's see what our good friend Google says. I'll do a Google search. Should we put video file or just file? File will not delete. Let's just put that and see what it says. Can't delete a file open in the system. It's not open in the system. Well, safe mode. I know how to go into safe mode. How to force delete a file that cannot be deleted in Windows 10. Sometimes you may face this problem. I never have before. Being open. We know about opening another program. Open elevated command prompt. Oh, I'm not going to do that while we're streaming. Oh, I might keep this one. There's some ideas on here for me, but I'm not going to do it while we're streaming. I was just fascinated. Adult Gimb says, if you like Death Note, then should react to Interface. Interface. I don't think I've heard of that one. But the thing is, everything we watch over at the Goosh, all the anime comes to us from the Gooshers. They vote on them. Or, again, at the $1 level, I put them in, but I put in ones that the gang talks about a lot, but just haven't been able to win a poll. Ooh. M says, let's throw a virgin into a volcano at midnight. I'm all for that, but we all know, come on, this is us. It's Spaz Boys Comedy Crew Gooshers. We don't have any virgins in here. Luke says we need to find Indian tech support man. He knows everything. Recycle bin clogged use plunger, Fluffy. If nothing else, I knew you guys would make it fun. Yeah, I've never seen anything quite like that. BGG says hashtag ununite the states. Might be heading that way, pal. It's scary, but it's you kind of wonder. Oh, we have a lot of virgins. Lick says could be. Okay, now here's the other thing I want to ask you guys. I want to get your opinions on something. This is a fun free for all Friday. Okay, a while back we talked about it. Remember when they pumped Dogecoin? I made a nice little profit on that. I put I think I bought $300 worth, and I cashed out. No, I put in $400. I cashed out for $1,000 to make sure I made a profit, and that left $250 or so in there, or maybe $300 in. So I made a nice little chunk from a pump and dump. They've been going nuts on Dogecoin again. Now look where that $350 is today. I don't know if it's too bright. Jesus Christ. Oh, wait, if I turn it? I can't get an angle. There you go. It's at $1,770 right at the moment. They're going absolutely batshit. Now, it's going to drop eventually, but the key word is eventually. They might pump it up to, over $1 a coin before it drops. Right now it's at, what was that at? I'll tell you how much it is per coin. I bought it initially, it was under 3 cents a coin. Right now it is 37 cents a coin. So, what do? Do I Do I take a big hunk of that out? Do I take all of it out? Do I say, fuck it, let it keep riding? Yeah, it's crazy, Poppy. That, and I'm not an investor or anything, but I know internet way more than I know investments, and I know I could see what they were going to do with Dogecoin. So that first time they were doing the pump and dump, I'm like, shit, I'll get in on that. I took whatever extra money I had at the moment, put it in it, and then cashed out a few days later. Now that other money I left in, that's been a couple months now. I just left it in there because it was, it was found money anyway, and now that's up to $1,700. M says sell that shit. Rick says sell. More or let it ride. I wouldn't buy more right now, Jack. I think it's up too high to buy more at 37 cents. I think no question it'll drop back below a quarter again at some point. Pizza Man says stocks are always a gamble. Oh, and to be honest, Pizza Man, playing with cryptocurrency is even way more of a gamble than traditional stocks. It's highly volatile. BTG says invest in GameStop stocks. Also Minecraft type. I know. For those who don't know, BTG set up a Minecraft server, and we'll be doing that here on the channel because it's a G100 sponsored video. Me going and checking out his server. That's why I haven't been in yet. I want to check it out for the first time with all you guys. But any gaming that gets sponsored at the Goosh, I game here in a live stream for all of you guys, and then post the video to the Goosh, so you'll see it. Sell all but one and keep that one forever. It says, you guys are funny. Dogecoin to the moon, right, Morgan? Hey, it started, Doge did, and Dogecoin did as well as a meme. But I'll tell you, it's not beyond the realm of possibility that this could get serious as a cryptocurrency. I'm not sure what you mean, BTG. Make sure to get it all working first because mods? Oh, yeah, I'll pop in before I start it for the stream. Yeah, I'll pop. I won't actually start playing, but I will pop in to make sure everything's working. Yeah, absolutely. Lick says, "Where's Braxy needs a slap?" He had a really busy week. He said this week out at college, and of course they got finals coming up in a couple weeks too. Rosa says, stocks are a gamble. Cryptocurrency is an even bigger gamble. Trying to invest into shit once you're rich because of a lucky investment is stupid. Oh, yeah. Well, cryptocurrency, yeah. Cryptocurrency, Rosa, to me, is the same thing as if I go to the casino. You can only play with money that you can absolutely afford to lose. Because it's 100% just strictly gambling. I mean, you could you could go so far as to say any stock is, but there are certainly safe bets in the stock market. Cryptocurrency is not one of them. Honestly, I wish I spent more. That's what I'm thinking too now, Jack. It's like, geez, I should have pumped in some more. But I honestly didn't. In fairness, I didn't think it would get this high. When I bought it at 3 cents, I thought it might max at 12, 15 cents. I never thought we were going to see it at 37 cents. Dragon says, wait and see if you can get it to $2,000. That's not a bad idea, Dragon. All right, I'll leave this open as we're speaking, and I'll watch it. Because this is not the highest it's been today either. I'll keep an eye on it. We'll see if it goes to $2,000. Is that everybody good with that? If it goes to $2,000, we cash out what? 1,400 of it. Leave 600 in. If it goes to $2,000, right now it's 1,753. Andrew says, seen a new investor make like 30K in gains, but also gain 300K in fees and fines. Wash sales, GFVs, etc. Sure, you can find the article if you Google. Oh, I'm sure, Andrew. And I'm not that deep into it. Like I say, I do this strictly for the lulz. I think I've always said, guys, one of the most important aspects of living a happy life is knowing your limitations. And I don't know enough about investing to be an investor. I just don't. It would be bad news. This I did again because everybody and anybody could see that they were setting up a pump and dump on Doge. So I was like, shit, and I'm glad I did. I turned a nice little, for me, I mean, I know to people who play the market, that's those few $100s I made are a pittance. To me, that's a lot of money. So I made a nice chunk of change, and I was happy. I was also happy I got to leave some in. I never imagined that little bit I left in would do this. Yeah, now we're going through a little dump off. It's at 1706. No, I do not have the knowledge to be a serious investor. You keep one Dogecoin, see what happens. I'd keep more than that, Lex. I'd keep, again, they're at 37 cents. I'd keep a few $100s worth of them because it's found money now. It's not my money. It's all profit. Oh, now we're having a sell off. It's at 16.85. But what's going to happen is with this, people are going to get all hyped up again. And as it drops, you're going to get people jumping back in thinking that's as cheap as they're going to get it. Oh, Lex. Oh, Lex says pump and dump. That's what they called me in college. Wow. Jack says, dude, the fucking donut guy that delivers to my shop day trades with 80 grand. Shit shook me. Yeah. Hey, and if you're really well versed and somewhat lucky, you can become insanely rich doing that. I'm well aware that I do not have the knowledge in that field, and I do not have the time or the desire to put in the effort to gain that kind of knowledge. So this is just a game for me. Philip says sell too. Well, we're gonna wait and see, at least during during the stream here, Philip. If it'll jump, I don't think it will. But if they really start pumping it and it jumps to 2,000, we'll dive out of it. It jumped right back up again and went to 1738. See, everybody's buying the dips now. Even the little dips, they're buying. Yeah, little dips, they're buying. I just decided to learn. It seems tight. Yeah. Hey, Jack, I'm all for that. The money's out there for the people who are savvy in it. But again, I'm well aware of my shortcomings, and I mean, other than my penis, I'm well aware of my shortcomings, and I have no real investment knowledge at all. M says it's like going to Vegas and sitting at a cards table and someone pulls out 50 grand to bet. It's so different from going to the casino down the street. Oh yeah. M, I'll tell you, the one thing I am good at is blackjack. I'm good at it in the respect that I play so much blackjack. I love the game because I love percentages. I love numbers. And that's all blackjack is. You play every hand with the percentages and then try and manage your money to come out with a win. That's all you can do. And it's also the best odds you have in the casino of winning. And the worst players I've ever seen have been people sitting at high money tables. And I don't even go in the high money area. In a couple of the casinos I go to, you got the high rollers area, but you can look in. There's just a little not gate, but a little walled area with 2-foot high gate around it. And you can watch them play. And I remember watching this one Asian guy sit down, and he was playing several hundred a hand. I don't remember exactly how much per hand. And he gets a pair of queens. It was like versus a 7 or an 8, and he splits them. And of course, the dealer had to call over. And in the high roller area, you don't have as many tables. There's just the one pit boss, a very, very quaint area. The dealer, of course, had to call over the pit boss. Anytime somebody's going to do something monumentally stupid like splitting queens, you call them over. And he won by splitting those, but his bankroll was out minutes later because he kept playing stupid. Dragon says if it drops to 1,500 by the end of the stream, I would cash out $1,000 and leave 500. That's not a bad idea either. Okay, let's go with that. If it goes either way, if it goes to 1,500 during the stream, I'll cash out for $1,000. If it goes to 2,000 during the stream, I'll cash out for 1,400. We are at 1747.89 right at the moment. M says I sat at a random table and a little Asian lady blew through $100,000 in like 10 minutes. It's terrifying, isn't it, Em? Jesus Christ. Like I said, that the one thing I learned early on in life, because when I was younger, I got to where I was gambling more than I should. And I do not like having anything that even resembles an addiction in my life. That's just for me. I don't nothing to do with it. Other than porn, I'm comfortable with that one. But, so I stepped away and I didn't gamble for like a couple years at all. And now I've gotten a handle on it. And to me, if I go to the casino, or if I go to the horse track or something, I have X amount of dollars that I put aside that I can afford to lose, and that's it. And if I lose it, it's gone. BTG says, don't forget the input lag given it's on the moon. Doge to the moon. Hey, like I say, I can't complain. I made a few $100 on it already. And again, I know it's silly to real investors. That's piss away money. But to me, that was a big deal. And I'm one way or another, I'm going to make a nice chunk of change here again on it. So I can't complain. Jesus Christ. Nice, Arthur. Turned $300 into $30K a couple months ago on Bitcoin. I would shit myself if I had done that. Oh, man. Yeah. Lick says, I think Vegas is where you go when you want to throw away your life savings. Well, in the, I remember because you guys know, I did stand-up comedy for a living back in the late 80s, early 90s. And back then, and even before that, a lot of the comedians referred to Las Vegas as lost wages because you played there and you made a good buck doing stand-up there, but then you would give it all right back to the casino. I put whatever I went off to the side in a separate pile. Yeah, I'm with you, Em. I mean, that again, when I go into the casino, the money I brought with me, I consider it as lost. So if I leave with any profit, I'm feeling really good. BTG says, I spend my money on virtual gotchas. Don't worry, it's not actual gambling because there's no winning. It's not gambling because there's no winning. I like that. I like that phraseology on that, though, BTG. It's not gambling. I don't win. No chance. Jesus Christ. Freaking Licks. I've been sucking dicks for like 5 years, and I haven't even seen that kind of money. That's bullshit that you haven't seen that kind of money then. That's not right. That's a quality profession right there. A needed profession. Rosa says, I turned $50 into $200 with Doge and I'm content. Me investor now. That's basically where I was, Rosa. You know, I was all happy. I don't remember what it was. I think it was almost 400, but I turned that into a cash out for over 1,000. I was ecstatic. I was like, yeah. You know, I'm like Rain Man coming down the escalator into the casino. I was a badass. Morgan says, I almost bought Dogecoin as a joke when it first started, and I regret not to. I know, Morgan. Isn't it ridiculous? I mean, and when I cashed it out last time, again, I was using money that I don't need. I don't ever play around with rent money. I almost feel bad I didn't leave it all in there. Shit. What would I be up to now? What, 4,000 or 5,000, right? If I had left it all in? But again, I did the same thing back then, which I don't regret. I wanted to make a profit, and I did. Full schooling in Japan is like $100K though. Wow. The most I've ever won was 1,000 on a hand, and it wasn't even my money. It wasn't even your money? I've never won that much on an individual hand. I think the most I ever won on an individual hand was 400. Because I was having a really good day, and at the end, what I'll do when I'm playing blackjack, I had a nice little profit, so I put $100 up for my bet. No, I put what did I put up? I might be wrong. No, I had 200 up for a bet. I was at a $25 table, but I was kicking ass. And what I do with that, I'll take, when I'm ready to leave the table, I'll take a big bet. And this is just, again, like playing Dogecoin here. I put the $200 up, and then I'll just play it till it loses. So if I win the first hand, I take that profit, and when that 200 is gone, I take it. I just walk away. So I put the 200 up. I'm trying to remember how the hand went. I put 200 up. I got 8s. I split them against something weak, a 4 or a 5. And then I got another 8 and split it again. Yeah, so it was a $400 profit. And I won all 3 hands. So I put up 200 to get 600. That was the most I had won on one hand. Double Blight says, dealing with depression and recently got over acid reflux. I appreciate your reactions also as a guide through EPO. Your insight helps. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Double Blight. I just can't imagine, can't imagine dealing with, we all get depressed, but dealing with chronic depression, it's just got to be brutal. Just absolutely brutal. Yeah. Hey, if hanging out with us makes any of you feel better in any way about anything, I am extremely honored by that, and I mean it. Oh, I that's what I love about Evo. I'm such a nerd for boxing anyway. Baseball, my football, my core sports. And I like that Epo is so based in reality. I mean, the fighting strategies are real, legitimate things. I love the fact that they imitate real life fighters like Tommy Hearns. That's why I don't mean to be overly douchey about it, but that's why I like the fight with the young kid. I always forget his name, Itagaki, that just came into the gym when he gets knocked down twice from illegal blows. That's why I got a little pissed off watching it. Not just because of the illegality of the blows, because they're walking away from reality then. A referee's not going to miss that. Not twice. A blatant headbutt and then a blatant elbow. There's no reason to have a referee if they aren't going to get one of those too. And I get, wanting to teach the kid the hard lessons about becoming a pro, but I don't think that was a good way to do it, just by that with an ass pull like that. And saying that a referee is going to miss those two things when they weren't even infighting, they weren't even brawling. Saying a referee is going to miss them both is an ass pull. Dragon says, have you ever heard of Jacob Fatu? Jacob Fatu. That name's familiar. If not, you need to watch some of his matches on MLW YouTube channel. He is a star. No, I'm thinking of a different Fatu. I'm thinking of the from the wrestling family. Jacob Fatu. Dragon, what is he? Is he a wrestler? Boxer? MMA fighter? I know you said matches, but I'm not sure what he does. BTG says, over here, people were celebrating institutionalized racism in a school in Bristol. Now, black children exclusively can have afros and other styles. Oh, we are celebrating institutionalized racism in a school in Bristol. So what you're saying is only people of a certain color can have certain hairstyles? I mean, I can understand the changing or modifications of a dress code to allow any type of hairstyle, but only people of a certain color. Isn't that racism in and of itself? If you're only allowed, what if, somebody that's not a person of color wanted an afro or something? They can't? Sounds kind of weird. Hey, Spaz Kid, good to see you. And Licks immediately. Sup, nerds? Licks says, get out, Brax. Spaz Kid says, get out. You get out, Licks. I love it. Big Green says, no, having hair is racist, Curtis. Yeah, that's bizarre to me. I mean, I completely understand the relaxing of codes, particularly if people want to wear their hair in a certain way or something. But you can't only relax it for certain groups. That is racism. And Lud says they're restricting hairstyles to race. Laugh my ass off. I guess it's okay because people of color can't be racist, right? I don't get that at all. No. M says punch Spaz Kid. Trevor slaps Spaz Kid. Spaz punch M. Oh, it's fun when the gang's all here. BTG says it's called the Halo Code, and by discriminating based on race, inherently racist, but the media plays it like it's a good thing. That's bizarre. That's fucked up. That sounds like the system working to pit people against each other. How is it anything but? That's all it is. That's pitting people against one another. It's trying to keep racial tensions alive. There's no other explanation for that. Again, to say, hey, if you want to have this hairstyle, that hairstyle, go for it. But to designate it by race, who can have something and who can't, you're just looking to stoke racial tensions. That's all you're doing. Dragon says Jacob Fatu is a wrestler from the same family. Oh, okay. He is young, packed with potential, although I'm not surprised about that considering the family indeed, Dragon. No. The ultimate, well, them and the Hearts would have to be the ultimate wrestling families. Devil Bite says, excited for your reaction to One Piece on Monday. Oh, Devil Bite, One Piece has just been, God damn, it's just so good. Oh man, I just I'm so glad because we talked about it, over at the Goosh for so long before we actually did it. Do we want to make that kind of commitment to a show that long and everything? And I'm so glad we did. Hey, Brax is here. He didn't hear that part. We're at 1732 now. Brax, you had some Dogecoin for a while. You sold that, didn't you? Because it's on a Mondo spike again. I was telling the gang, a little under $300 of it left after I cashed out, and that's up to 1,700 right now. Spaz Kid is getting so feisty, isn't he, Em? That's my boy. Dan the Gaming Man says, I don't understand this generation thinks that race defines a person when in reality it's the person's personality. Basically, some people show their feelings and emotions through looks. You know what it is too, Stan? I mean, again, it's almost like the institutions around the world are trying to stoke the racial divisiveness, because that's all you're doing with something like that. Why would you put any type of plan in place, put any type of rule in place that singles out people in any way, shape, or form based on their race? The only reason to do that, or the only outcome of doing that, is to just stoke things even more. It's like George Carlin said, Philip says, the rich keep every group fighting with each other so they can run away with all the fracking money. You're 100% right, Philip. I'm beginning to think we need to start our own, and I'm only half kidding. We need to start our own, I don't know if we would say party, our own political movement. Because it just seems like most of us are like-minded. I know a lot of, when you get anybody from not the left, we have a lot of people that are left here, the extreme left in here, as soon as you mention anything about such things as, well, you're all a bunch of conservative crazies because you don't fall in line with them. But I think as a group, our view on things is pretty centrist and pretty reasonable. And there's got to start to be some voices of reason in this country. Just things like this, where it's like, no, it's not a good thing to do that. It's never a good thing to set groups apart from one another by race. I don't believe they're even being genuine in saying that they think it's a good thing and they're doing it for the benefit of the people of color at all. I think it's exactly what Philip is saying. It's just another way to keep people fighting. Dragon says, why do you put your phone in rice if it gets wet? The rice attracts the Asians to fix your phone. That's awful. Oh shit. Okay. That's actually, as racist jokes go, that one's pretty fucking funny. Come on, you guys. Dragon's always bringing the jokes. That was on the 1 to 10 scale. That's a solid at least 9. No. Why do you put your phone in rice if it gets wet? The rice attracts the Asians to fix your phone. That's just. Oh yeah, Spasket. I asked him if he's Goosh Party. He says, and I didn't watch for your. I'm in debt and ready to fight. Spasket, what'd you say? I didn't see if Spasket says if he still has his Dogecoin or not, because I thought you had some at one point. Goose coin tastes weird, Brax says. I was just telling your mom, Brax, if Doge had dropped, it made a significant drop over the next few days, because I think it's going to keep doing this for a while. They're going to keep pumping it for a while. I was going to send you some money to put into it. Rosa says, the state of Charlie's central regions after winning a phenomenal match of chess was questionable. I'm not caught up with that. Stan says, Spaz, did you ever watch Dashie Games? I'm not going to do reactions to Dashie Games. I love Dashie. I think it's hilarious. And I have watched them game, but no, I won't be doing reactions to them. I'm doing good, Plain. Lex says, I'm the head of the Goose Party. I'm the only one willing to let themselves be a puppet. It turns me on. I mean, something's got to be done. This is insanity. And we're all allowing it to happen. Brax says, cool, I need campus food money. Sandwiches be expensive. Well, whenever you need, you know that. If you honestly do need money, just let me know. I'll put some in your Wildcat dollars. Let's see. Philip says, but the whole point of stoking divisions in society is so you don't notice when they bend you over a barrel. I agree with that completely, Philip. And I had always, that whole concept, I was always kind of attributed it to, I don't know, conspiracy theorism almost, but I'm beginning to think that's not the case. I think there is a very significant portion of people in power who definitely do like keeping the racial tension stoked. I mean, there's no reason for something like what was outlined here with the hair. None. There's no reason at any point to set aside any program or policy that just isolates individual groups against one another. Dragon says, the one joke I will never top. Kobe Bryant, the only black dad to leave and take his daughter with him. That one I had heard. That one's brutal. That's awful. And I still say Kobe Bryant had the worst meme, the most vicious meme of last year too, was the one with God tossing a helicopter against a mountain and going, Kobe. Yeah. More Lucas the Spider. They're still making videos, Spy Love? Those are cute. Lucas is cute. Boy, from what I understand, old Lucas the Spider did really, really great in merch sales. Probably better than his videos. We took another dive, guys. We're at 1666. We got 666s in there. Mark of the Beast. That might be, that's probably a call to arms for me to sell. High School DxD, I love it, Team 4-Star. It's one of my favorite, not just because of the titties. I mean, the titties are phenomenal. But not just because of the fan service. I just really like that story a lot. I love the characters in there. Especially the early ones with Issei and Kaneko. The two of them at each other. She warmed up to him more recently, and it's okay, but it's not as much fun. I love when they were at odds the whole time winning. And then when he accidentally uses that power he's got and knocks her clothes off and she kicks the shit out of him. And Morgan says, Hail Satan, right, Morgan? If that was ever a cue for me to sell, that would have... now 1665. They ruined the 666s. All right, let's see what the next bump is. 1663. Lick says, do it. Sell. My dad is telling you to. I'll tell you, I'm moving close to it, Licks. I never thought it would go this high to begin with. So I think it's become almost crazy at this point not to. 1640. We're on a tank again. People selling off. Now let's see if people are going to buy on the downside. Let's see. Fucking Mormons? What do the Mormons do, Licks? Don't read my name, Team 4-Star. SSJ9K. Sell it's going down. Yeah, well, it does that though, Em. It's cryptocurrency. It's going to be volatile as hell. But like I say, I'm comfortable. Right now I have, about $300 in it, and that $300 was money that I made off Dogecoin to begin with. So no matter what, I'm going to make a nice little profit. Adult Game says, the 100 tier on the Goose is the one where I can actually react to a video, right? Correct. That's what we call the G100 crew. Yep. Dragon says, why does Helen Keller masturbate with one hand so she can moan with the other? That's pretty fucked up, too. That paints such a horrible, horrible image of one hand down below and the other one going. Oh, that's terrible. Rick says, don't sell. Wait till we get a round number, then sell? Okay. Oh, it's dropping now, 1625. Well, let me see. I can see what it's been for the day. Let's see. Oh, well. Earlier in the day, it was at 11:55. So, needless to say, we've had a excuse me, guys, got something in my eye. A pretty successful day with Doge. Now we're back to 1647. Selling at 1600 is awkward. How do you hand sign loans? Asking for it? I don't know, Luda, and I actually was fairly fluent in American Sign Language. I've forgotten most of it because my older daughter, my daughter from my first marriage, is hearing impaired. So I had learned. I wasn't entirely proficient, but I could carry on a conversation in American Sign Language, but I've forgotten a lot of it. Kaiser says, Simpsons, you're a moron. Homer, what? A Mormon? 0 is a round number. True, BTG. We're at 1665, 1669. Who is 69? 1676. We're trying to head back up again. Amdo says, heel or face? What do you prefer, Candyman? I don't know. I get asked that a lot. It depends kind of on the situation. In general, I think a lot of times it's more fun to play a heel, but it really depends on the storyline. You know, it's similar to, I guess the best way to put it is, it's similar to, like, say, the world of anime. You could say I maybe shonen is my favorite genre, but that doesn't mean all shonen animes are my favorite. It can be any genre if it's good. So the same thing is with wrestling. Being a heel or a face really depends on the story you're trying to tell. Because, that to me is the backbone of wrestling and should always be the backbone of wrestling. Is to tell a cool story. I mean, that's what you're trying to do. A story of violence and everything that comes with it and the emotions that come with it. So it depended. You know, there are times where being the heel was the ultimate, and there are times where being the face was really, really fun. It all depends on how good the story is and what type of story it is. Do you think Papa Franco is returning, JV says? I haven't heard anything about that. Have you guys? I haven't heard anything about Papa Frank returning. Oh, we just had a spike, guys. We went to 1711. Woo! Yeah, everybody's trying to get in on those dips. Wow. No, I haven't heard anything about Papa Franco returning. It'd be awesome, but I don't think he will. You know, just from what what he had said when he left. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Nicholas. Nicholas says he won't. I can't imagine he would. 7-Eleven. Igor says, Curtis, what's the difference? Oh, you said it's Igor, right? Curtis, what's the difference between a blonde and a vacuum cleaner? A vacuum cleaner stops sucking once you smack it. I've heard that one. My current celebrity crush, Luckman? I don't even know that I have one. You got to remember, though, too, I really, obviously, the vast majority of my time is spent watching anime, and that's how I prefer it. There aren't really, I mean, it would be an animated character because that's what I'm into. My current celebrity crush would be a waifu list. It really would, just because there's not any celebrities. I'm trying to think before I. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody that outstanding to me. No, probably just be a case of, refer back to my waifu list type thing. Doesn't matter, Goku solo. Do you think Roman Reigns is a good heel? Yes, I think he's developed into a good worker. I think he could always work. He's developed his character and his ability on the mic much more. I think he gets more hate than he deserves. Yes, I do. I think he's a good heel. I've been thinking about that. It just came up earlier. I remember when it would have been like 98, I think, when individuals were able to put video up on the internet at all, because you didn't have shit for compression. The compression was garbage, and the connections were slower than shit. You didn't have high speed. I have somewhere, I'd have to find them, the old videos of me wrestling when that was the case, and the video would display about this big, and it was all shitty. It was all crappy and all chiseled up and everything because of the compression. I've been thinking about making a standalone video and just putting a bunch of them together so you guys could see it for laughs. But that would have been my wrestling, going on 25 years ago. And you'd have to look, but at least most people watch on smaller devices now anyway, because you're gonna have to get up close to see it. Would you guys even be interested in that? I'd have to dig them out. I don't even have them on my computer now. I have them on a portable drive somewhere. Dragon says, with recent law changes, at least New Yorkers have a good way to forget bad sports losses. Yeah, really. Yeah, Dragon. They needed to open up the smoking and pot just because the teams disappoint them so much. Bills most recently last year. And the Yankees. What the fuck? The Yankees are loaded this year, and they can't get above 500. Yeah, it's a good thing they did. Anbu says, I'd probably smash most of the females from Naruto, including Haku. Oh, sheesh. Hashtag no homo. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean, Anbu. I think that would be, as far as celebrity crush, I know that's not technically accurate, but it would be my waifu list. I don't really... She doesn't really play much anymore. You know who I always thought was insanely hot was Serena Williams. And I know she's still playing, but she's near the end of her career, so you don't see her as much, so you don't think of her as a celebrity crush. Oh, Going Nowhere says, did you ever collect baseball cards? Like a mental patient. When I was a kid, all anybody got me, because all I ever wanted for gift-giving occasions, were baseball cards or comic books. And if I still had those collections, we wouldn't be worried about Dogecoin. Oh, yeah. Yes, I did. And I played with those baseball cards. They wouldn't have been worth a lot because I did play with them. I didn't just put, a lot of kids collected them. I know, and it was just an aside thing. I played with them all the time. I went through and I made different teams up out of them. And, I was always playing with my baseball cards. So I know I have committed to memory a lot of the ones I had. And I had a bunch of Nolan Ryan's rookies. I had Pete Rose's rookie. I had not Mickey Mantle's rookie, but several of his early cards. Insanely valuable cards I had. BTG says Kobe was probably a celebrity crush, depending on the speed of impact. Wow, you can tell it's Friday. You guys are brutal. Oh. Zurazul says, as someone who dated a girl that accurately cosplayed Tsunade, smashing Naruto girls makes life great. I would say so. Now listen, if I just thought, you're giving me inspiration here, Zurazul. Okay, suppose, now, what I do here is what I do now for a living with videos and whatever live streams. And of course the Goosh is my primary support. So given that, if I were to go to like Comic-Con again or to one of the big anime fests, I could hire a quality cosplayer to accompany me, get away with it, because I wouldn't be lying to my wife when I said, listen, I'm an anime nerd. That's my persona online, and this would be really cool. And I'm going to make videos with it and everything. And she'll be like, okay, cool. And then I could write it off what I paid her on my taxes. A whole new world has just opened up for me. I got to go. No. I just thought of that when Zurazul said that. Yeah, so I could just, you guys got to. So do we have any quality cosplayers out there who might want to get hired by a creepy old dude? A broke ass sugar daddy? You could cheat on your wife with a Sarah's cosplayer, Lex. Lex, you don't come right out and say that. It kind of ruins the clandestine nature of it all. Once a says, hey Curtis, been a long time since I've been on the channel. It's cool to see you. You're an anime fan now, big time, my friend. Oh, it's gotten to be a sickness. This is my new disease. That's the only thing I ever really spend money on myself for is anime t-shirts, and I've got over 50 of them. And well, it was the only thing I spend money on myself for. Now I'm going to be buying myself a cosplayer, but. Rick says, did you know Saris is very easy to cosplay if you're British? you're not wrong. I mean, we know wrong hand. We got Saris right here. You're right. With a nice rack and that, because a lot of what attracted me to Saris in both the series and the abridged was the voicing. You are correct with that, Lex. Johnny says, my grandpa left me his Roberto Clemente 1955 Topps rookie card. Oh, that's insanely valuable. That one I didn't I was a Clemente fan. That's Johnny. That was my hero growing up. That was the first sports hero I ever had, was Clemente. Bruno Sammartino was second, but I never had his 55. I have had, and still somewhere I have, several of the early Clemente cards, but I didn't have the 55 one. That's pretty cool. I had a cool little set. It's not nearly as valuable. That came out, this was just maybe 15 years ago. It was a set of plates of Roberto Clemente. They were metal plates, but they were baseball card style plates of Roberto Clemente. But my grandson is a huge sports nut, so I gave them to him to hold on to. He's very much into, he's very much a collector. He collects Disney pins and he collects sports cards, and he's very good about it. You know, he's very, you know, you get the stuff, you put it in the holder, you put it aside, and Big Green says, did you buy them online? I've been thinking about getting new shirts. A lot of them I did, Big Green. I get a lot. The ones I get in the brick and mortar stores are usually from Box Lunch or I can't think of the name of the other store. You can get them sometimes at Spencer's too, and there's a third store. I can't think of the name of it. But online, I typically buy from, if you want a good place to check out, check TeePublic. Now, when I tell people go to TeePublic, because I bought a lot of shirts there, the one thing I will tell you is quality is a crapshoot. Most of the shirts I've gotten have been really decent quality. I've gotten a few that, even with turning them inside out when I wash them and everything like I do, the transfer just goes away immediately. I've had one that immediately started developing holes in it, just wore right through. So, but the other side to that is they have sales continually. And if you wait for the sales, you can get the t-shirts for $13 each. Zerzul says, Curtis is a sommelier when it comes to anime waifu and importantly anime titties. Oh, one year we were in DC at a con and it was super cold. Busty girls in cold rooms with little clothing is very fun. Oh, to say the least. Oh, you guys got me motivated with this idea of going to a con now. Philip says, my high school history teacher was a huge Roberto Clemente fan. He even had a Clemente jersey. Did he, Philip? I have some. I don't have any actual Clemente jerseys. I have, the reproductions. I have a couple of them. Yeah, that was my hero growing up. I just loved Clemente. BTG says, my first MTG draft, I pulled a 50-pound card plus first pack. Really? My grandson just had a monster pull. Was it for Christmas? I bought him the box. I had to do a little research because I'm not as up on the cards as I used to be, and he's into football and baseball cards. And I bought him a box that had a bunch of last year's football rookies in it. And this box was cool because it had them still in their college uniforms. And he pulled a Tua Tagovailoa autograph card out of it. It was the third most valuable card in a really, really valuable set. It's going for it, and this isn't asking. It's actually selling for between $400 and $500 right now, and he pulled it. It's the best pull I've ever seen personally. I've never pulled anything. I've never pulled anything even close to that before. Wolverine just got home from work. Good to have you, pal. Glad you got in. My favorite cereal? Bacon Bits? That depends on mood. As long as it's got a lot of sugar, I'm pretty much covered. Yeah, it all depends on mood because I'll eat Captain Crunch and then get tired of it. I'll eat Fruity Pebbles. I always like Fruity Pebbles and then get tired of it. Eat Honeycomb, then get tired. I don't eat cereal much at all anymore just because I can't take in that amount of sugar like I could get away with when I was younger. But I do like them. But yeah, it all depends on mood. Luckman says, thoughts on cancel culture. I think pedophiles, rapists, murderers, etc. should be canceled, but I think we should accept people can make mistakes and change over time. Logan Paul is a good example. It depends on how you describe it. Cancel culture in general, no, I'm not. See, there's a defining line in there. Do I think people should be responsible for their actions? Well, of course. Do I think that cancel culture goes way over the top and makes people responsible in a manner much too grievous for the actions? All the time. Because a lot of times cancel culture now just means you're not thinking the same way I am, and that's a crime. So that type of cancel culture is bullshit, and those people can go fuck themselves. If you're talking about somebody being shunned, again, as you said, because they're a pedophile or something, well, yeah, that's not cancel culture. That's a result of your actions. But when it becomes over and above and it becomes a ridiculous reaction to a rather benign action, then that's when cancel culture gets stupid, which is a great deal of the time. Milk first or cereal first? Cereal first. Always did cereal first. And there is something to be said for milk first, because as somebody who did cereal first, you're pouring the milk and the milk splatters all over depending on what it is. God damn it. Not with the Fruity Pebbles. The Fruity Pebbles would just sog into a big ball of goop and didn't spew the milk on you, but like the honeycomb would. Zurazul says, cancel culture ignores the notion that we can grow from our mistakes. I agree with that. If only that we could see what mistakes the canceling masses have made themselves and counter cancel. Right. Yeah. So if you're saying, should somebody lose their job because they made an offhand comment on social media years ago? Of course not. Like you say, people grow from that. If you're saying, should somebody face repercussions because they had inappropriate sexual contact with a minor? Yes, always. I just don't, but that's not redeemable to me. But yes, the things that people go after. A good example, and I can't think of his name, guys. What was the senator's name the guy who used to be on Saturday Night Live? The one who they got the pictures of on the military flight, pretending he was about to squeeze the boobs of one of the female soldiers. His name's gone right out of my head. God damn it! One of you guys will have it. Is Philip still here? Philip will remember who he was. I can almost come up with his name too. God damn it! But anyway, he was a good example of it. I didn't agree with him on anything. We were as polar opposite. He was pretty extreme left, and you guys know I don't like extremists. So we didn't agree on much of anything. But him losing his position, having to give up his position because of that silliness was absolutely... You're drawing a blank too, Philip? I know who he is. I can't think of, I'm going to have to look it up. It's going to drive me nuts. But most of you guys probably won't even remember him from his SNL days. That's going way back. He was one of the old crew. Yeah, I got to look it up because it's gonna drive me nuts. But that's why I remember him from, his SNL. That's back when I used to watch it. SNL alum. I think he was a senator, not a congressman, right? Al Franken. There it is. Al Franken. Al Franken was pushed out by cancel culture at the height of the Me Too movement because some pictures surfaced of him online being a goofball. And they were on a military flight, and one of the female officers had fallen asleep, and he posed for a picture, like pretending he was about to touch her boobs and stuff like that. Is that sophomoric? Yes. Is that kind of thing kind of unbecoming for a senator? Sure. Was she pissed off about it? No. If you read what she said, she's like, yeah, that wasn't appropriate, but he apologized. I'm good with that. And that's what it came down to. That should have absolutely 100%, even though I can't stand Al Franken, should have been a case of, listen, what I did there was really stupid and inconsiderate, and I apologize. I'll be happy to go to where that female soldier is right now, and I will prostrate myself to her, and you have my sincere apologies for me being a dork. And that should have been the end of it. Come on, let's let the punishment fit the crime. It's not like he was accused of molesting someone or making sexually aggressive overtures towards someone. He was being a goof. Exactly. Zachary says it's in bad taste, but it isn't offensive. It's a joke. And even if somebody sees it as offensive, Zachary, so what? Oh, yeah, it was a little offensive. But if the guy apologizes for it and he seems sincere in his apology, which he absolutely did, and you have the woman who was involved in the picture saying, yeah, that was kind of a stupid thing to do, but he's cool. He said he was sorry. Yeah, well, Philip makes a good point. He said, I'd never heard of Al Franken before. Honestly, when Me Too was going on, you couldn't keep track of all the people who were being canceled 100%. And that's what it was. He just got lost in the mix. But the guy lost his whole political career over that silliness. Just, Nancy says, if you were president, what's the first 3 laws you'd enact? Well, Nancy, when the system's working right, the president doesn't enact laws, the Congress does. But you're 100% right in asking that, because Obama at the end of his term, and then Trump and now Biden want to be the begin all and end all and the lawmakers with their executive actions, which is a bunch of bullshit. I don't like it when anybody's doing that. I don't care what political party they're from. Top 3, I don't think there'd be a top 3 laws to enact, more like policies. I think that I have what I always thought in my mind was a perfectly fair way of allowing people to have affordable health care that nobody will support currently because it doesn't lean far enough right or far enough left. It tries to stay in the middle. And most of the things that I believe, or most of the solutions that I would suggest, are from the middle. And you don't get a lot of support unless you can generate clicks for the politicians involved. And doing things sensibly is not how we go about things in this country. It's always got to be, we got to do this all to my way, to my side, or you're with me or against me type stuff. Zorazul says, I grew up on George Carlin to my family's chagrin. My mother introduced me to him, so offensive humor is my lifeblood. Yeah, I loved Carlin. Loved George Carlin. Loved Richard Pryor. Some of the greatest comedians ever. Offensive humor is best humor, to be honest, DB dude. I think it can be. You guys know me, how easy I laugh. I like all types of humor. But offensive humor certainly can be. And when I did stand-up, when I was doing it for a living, I was very offensive. Only because, and not to be offensive, because that's what struck me as funny. Now that I'm thinking of actually getting out and going on the road again and doing shows, I've written a bunch of material, and it's different. It's just because maybe I'm at a different point in my life. And I'd rather talk about my own life experiences and family and the years in wrestling and the funny things that are associated with all that than I would the more hot button topics. Again, it's not shying away from them. It's what I'm interested in talking about now. Dragon says, I still can't understand how some people can ignore the pictures and video of Biden being creepy. Well, in fairness, Dragon, a lot of stuff gets ignored on both sides when somebody just wants their candidate in position. What I can't understand what gets ignored so greatly is some of the stupid things he said, like if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. I can't believe that somebody who said that carried the majority of the black vote. It's like, yes, that's got to be one of the all-time dumbest fucking things I've heard a politician say. Derpy Chubb says, buy some Skittles. Well, thanks, Derpy. I appreciate it. Thoughts on the two-party system? Well, see, the thing is, Nancy, it's hard to say because we don't technically have a two-party system in the respect that we have more parties out there, and you're always every bit allowed to create your own party. The problem is we've voted in a two-party system as voters. And do I think that helps us? No, I think it's detrimental to us. But until a third party comes up that isn't at least some level of a little bit batshit, I think we're going to be stuck with it. to me, the third parties have too much fringe element to them right now. Hey, Philip. Thanks. We haven't had Crimson Sky in ages. Thanks for the Crimson Sky. We've had a couple of pussy pics. We haven't had a Crimson Sky in a long time. Appreciate that, Philip. And he says, had an interesting night last night. Watched Dirty Harry. Oh, I love Dirty Harry. Watched Dirty Harry. That Scorpio creep deserved to die. Then I watched a bit about Furuta Junko, a girl who was tortured, raped, held captive for 44 days, murdered back in 1980s Japan. Wow. Wish her killers had their own Dirty Harry. Yeah, I'm with you, Philip. I've never heard her name. I don't even know if I could get through watching it. Sometimes that stuff gets just too disturbing for me. I don't know if I could get all the way through that or not. Oh, Dirty Harry. That's one of the all-time greats. I know what you're thinking. Did he shoot 6 times or only 5? Oh, to be honest with you, in all the excitement, I kind of lost track myself. And now I'm paraphrasing here. So you got to ask yourself, do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? Fucking, that's one of the greatest ever. The Dirty Harry movies were just so fucking brilliant. Oh wait, I'm still Clear Sky. Yeah, you're Clear Sky right now, BTG. For those of you who don't know, now wait, BTG is known as BTG because he started as Black Temple Guardian. My memory only works when it comes to you guys. And then you went to Crimson Sky Guardian, right, BTG? And then he's dilly-dallied around with a few different identities. But that's why, and I don't stop to express that often enough, or explain that often enough. That's why he's always going to be BTG to me, because the Black Temple Guardian is how I first met him. But we've got several people here that are like that. I have to correct myself because I see their current screen name and I'll immediately relate to one they had prior. Lick says, I remember when the woman who's been trying to get Biden outed as a predator for decades told some of those believe all women Twitter accounts that they told her to proof the rape or shut the fuck up. That happens all the time, Licks. Well, we know, especially on Twitter. Twitter is an absolute shithole. I mean, it is. It's just absolute garbage. It's the sewer of the world as far as I'm concerned. And the simple fact is, the people on there aren't genuinely interested in anyone's well-being. They're interested in furthering their own agendas and nothing more. Dragon Ball Z, our One Piece says, do you think Seth Rollins is a good heel? He's an excellent heel. Very good heel. Was there ever a movie you couldn't finish? Sure. Not because of uncomfortability. The first one I ever walked out on in a theater was the first Star Trek film. It was that bad. I was not a huge Star Trek nerd to begin with. I watched the series here and there. But that film, I still remember early on in it, they go on showing the Enterprise from the outside and circling around it and taking views from the top, the bottom, in and out and up its ass and whatever else for what seemed like minutes. And it's like, fucking move along. I mean, it was more time padding than One Piece ever dreamed of. And then the plot, even once you got done with the ship, the plot was moving so slow. I still remember I lived in Vacaville, California. I don't know if it's still the case. Back then, Vacaville just had the one theater, had one screen. And so I was in there. I was watching. That was the only movie I had available. And I went out and they had a couple pinball machines, I think it was, out in the lobby. And I just said, fuck this. I went out and played pinball for a little bit. Took my popcorn with me and went home. That was the first time I ever walked out on a movie. B-Man the Champ says, what's your dream wrestling match? Current or former wrestlers allowed? Would have been my hero, Bruno Sammartino. I freaking was just a fanatic for Bruno. Of the more current crew, I would have loved to have had an opportunity to work with Mark Calloway, The Undertaker. I can't even imagine how cool that would have been. Yusuf says, ramen is better than Skittles. Depends on my mood. I do like ramen, though. But it depends on the mood. Code says, I hate Biden because he's the embodiment of a typical politician. That's true. He's very good at lying. Hate him or love him, the guy's a pro. And yeah, that can be said for a lot of, look at Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi, same thing. They're the ultimate professional politicians, and I don't say that with any degree, any degree of admiration. BTG says, I know it's not a reaction stream, but you should Google something you don't like, followed by waifu, and see what comes up. What kind of thing that I don't like, though, BTG? I would do that. I mean, what do you mean? Some, like American cheese waifu? That would, or a show, do you mean? Because I'll Google American cheese waifu and see what shows up. American cheese waifu. And let's go to images. Okay, that there is an interesting one that comes up. This little, this picture of a cheeseburger with this little anime style girl trying to crawl out from under the bun and the cheese, and her hair is flowing into the cheese itself. And then there's somebody called Jufu Waifu on here. And this is my this is my waifu Wendy's character. All right, that actually was pretty entertaining, actually. Philip says, Furuta Junko was a high school student, well-liked, had a promising future. Had the misfortune of running into 4 delinquents who got light sentences because they were minors. They're all walking free today after that. So in other words, we're certainly not the only nation with fucked up systems of justice as far as penalties, huh? That's fucked. That's an absolute... No, that's bullshit. Like I said, I don't know that I could even get through that, watching that, Philip. That just... Ugh. Fong says, what happened to Curtis the Spaz Gamer? Well, nothing officially happened to it. We just morphed the channel into Spaz Boys Comedy. Because when I started the channel as Curtis the Spaz Gamer, it was me playing Call of Duty really poorly. But then when it was just a couple days in, I decided that Brax was 11. I decided, you know what? He's only in here with me. I don't have a problem with him being out there and on videos. And he came in with me, and the gang here adopted him because it was you guys. It was the early crew in here that gave him the name Spaz Kid, because I was the Spaz Gamer. And that's how the channel morphed into Spaz Boys Comedy. And that's why I changed the channel name to that, to reflect that. Plus, we didn't just game anymore. But everything we tried to do with a comedic edge, so it just became Spaz Boys Comedy. Furuta Junko's killers were also Yakuza. They were? Those kids were, West? Yeah, I just don't, I don't know if I could get through watching that. Smoking Reaper says, what kind of training do wrestlers generally go through? Asking because I wanted to be one since my high school days. Well, you got to find yourself a good school, Reaper, and really look into them a lot, because some of the schools are bullshit. If they're going to get you in there and just have you do squat thrust till you puke and nothing else, tell them to go stick it in their ass. You need a school that's going to teach you every element of the game. You know, teach you the psychology of the game, teach you how to tell a good story. Because it doesn't matter, and it's one of the hardest things to get across to kids. It doesn't matter how hardcore you can be. It doesn't matter how athletic you are. It doesn't matter how many crazy fucking twisting, diving, 360, 720 moves you can do off the top rope. If you don't give me a reason to give a shit about you and the story you're telling, none of that matters. So you just got to find yourself a really good wrestling school with good trainers. Zurzul says, have to go for the day. One of my agents messed up and I got to work now. May the bountiful bosoms of Rangiku and Violet find you in your sleep. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Zurzul. Now that's a quality send-off right there. Rangiku. My goodness. Uelani? I say that right at all? Uelani? Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, Tiger One says, our geese still mean as fuck. We were just talking about that the other day, Tiger, a couple days ago in a stream. Geese are assholes. They're absolute fucking dicks. Complete jerks. Nancy says, was there ever a horror movie that actually scared you as a kid or an adult? You know what I always found? I think The Shining is my favorite horror movie of all time, because Jack Nicholson is just so insanely creepy in that. That's just a brilliant performance. But as far as the like horror movies, slasher movies, that type of thing, the scariest one to me was Chucky, Child's Play. I don't know why that little doll just hit the right chord with me. That used to scare me. BTG says sounds like acting school and a good gym's better. No, no, because the thing of it is, some wrestlers could definitely use acting school, BTG, but you really want somebody who can teach you all elements of combining the two. And there's so many schools out there that are just, I've seen the things they do and the people they turn out that are just kind of shit. Thanks again, Ulani. I appreciate that. No one says, Curtis, you'll like this. My new gym in Miami is an old school bodybuilding gym. They have a framed meme making fun of people who take gym selfies. That's funny. But 80% of the members spend 20 minutes taking selfies. Yeah, that kills me, Nolan. And even before the days of selfies in the gym, it was always fun for me. I would sit around and just watch the guys. Oh, we're dropping, guys. We're at 15:55. I would watch the guys going past the mirrors, and you could tell the ones that were the douchebags, because they would have to stop and they'd have to give a little tricep flex, check both heads of the tricep, see how that looks, and anytime. Or you go past the mirror, and you flex the chest and make sure everything's in. Dinks. Now, if you were a competitive bodybuilder, I could almost see it, but it wasn't. It was just regular gym rat dudes. Curtis, would you win against John Cena? Tiger One says, depends on the booker. All depends on the booker, Tiger One. Biden's press secretary reminds me of Chucky. She does a little bit. Yeah, I get that a little, Nolan. Dick Figures was hilarious, Tiger. Luckman says, how academically gifted were you in school? Were you a straight A student or not? Asked because your vocabulary is quite brilliant and you articulate yourself really well, in my opinion, at least. Well, thanks. I appreciate the kind words, Luckman. School's kind of an oddity for me. When I tried in school, I could get great grades. Not because I'm smart, because I test well. Testing in and of itself, and I think you guys will agree with me, is an art, and I'm good at it. I've always been able to, take blocks of text, read them, scan them, and then I can answer your questions about those blocks of text. Doesn't mean I learned it. It just means I can relate that information back. And of course, with math, now math is something that's based entirely, there's no feelings in math. It's all facts. You get real answers and only one answer is correct, but I happen to be good at math. So that just kept the grades up for the other classes where it was more of a test-taking ability. Did I always get good grades? No, because a lot of times I nothing I take pride in, but I just didn't give a fuck. When I got into high school, I started having a bad attitude about it, and I was just like, fuck it, I ain't doing this. And I would just not put any effort into it. And then my guidance counselor got smart and said, okay, you've got to maintain, I forgot what he said, a solid B or a B plus average to play sports. I said, that's not fair, because at the time you only had to have a C average to do that. And he said, well, I'm making the rule especially for you because I know you're being a slacker. He wasn't wrong. I was. So then I would take it serious and get good grades. But I don't think grades are a good representation of someone's intelligence at all. I saw my daughter struggle so much. She would learn. She worked hard all through high school, all through college. She worked hard, learned the information, and freeze up when she took the test, and her grades wouldn't reflect how smart she actually is. Rockley says, fuck the geese because I think I'm late. Rockley, we know Susan in notifications. BTG says, I too remember ye old douchebags rushing to paint a buff self-portrait of themselves while working out in ye old gym. That's a good representation of what the whole mirror thing was, BTG. Yeah. The old school. Dragon says, one thing always impressed me about Cena is how strong the guy is. Yeah, he's ridiculous power. People always talk about Cesaro's strength, but Cena is on the same level. Oh, yeah. And with Cesaro, I think Cesaro amazes me too. But I think Cesaro, and I'm included in this group, a lot of the reason people are shocked by Cesaro's strength is because he doesn't have that classic power lifter or power build. Cesaro is very lean, whereas Cena's much thicker and looks the part of again, the power lifter, the guy that can move a lot of weight. Cesaro doesn't look it, and he's every bit as strong as the guys who do. I think that's why he shocks people as much as he does. It's just a shame that Cesaro really, he struggles on the mic. He's not particularly good on the mic because I think he'd be getting a lot more push, and I love the guy. I think he should get more push. Let's see. Oink says, left trying to cancel things is annoying, but I absolutely cannot stand when right-leaning people criticize them and then turn around and start a moral panic about video games cause violence. Yeah, you're right, Oink. You're 100% right. There's no consistency from either side. I completely agree with you. Completely agree with you. Riley says, I watched Monty Python the Holy Grail for the first time. One of the greatest ever. That movie will just live forever. I love that film. BTG says, let's not kid ourselves here. Cena's strongest stat is meme. Big Green. Also, Cesaro is bald like you. I don't know what point I'm trying to make here. Okay, Yusuf. I know I laugh easy, but that made me laugh probably even more than it's worth. I don't know why this just struck me as funny. Yusuf Ali Balaksab. Hopefully I can quote on that. Roses are red, violets are blue. I can't rhyme. Banana. Stupid shit like that I love. Code says, talking about John Cena, have you seen the new Fast and Furious trailer? I did. They're really going to space. Like, what the fuck? I did. Brax was home when I saw that too. He was home over a couple weekends ago, and we were just looking at each other like, what? Nolan Dreyer says, what do you call the guy who graduated bottom of his class in med school? Doctor. You call him doctor. That's true. Well, there's the old saying, Nolan, in college, C's mean degrees. And it's true. In most fields. There are some fields like a doctor. You might want somebody who finished a little higher in their class. Doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be elite, though. But for the most part, in the vast majority of fields you go to college for, exactly, C's mean degrees. Because once you're out in the real world, everything changes anyway. It doesn't matter how sharp you are, you still have to adapt your skills to reality. Because college is not reality. It's the place of learning. And in some cases, indoctrinating. BTG says the new Fast and Furious is clearly a Dogecoin heist. Smoking Reaper says, what's more painful, figure four or sharpshooter? Neither if it's applied properly, Reaper. They're both uncomfortable. It's not a comfortable position to be in. But if the person applying it knows how to properly... See, that's part of what you learn in wrestling school, like with the sharpshooter. You learn to hold their legs in a position where there's not the extreme force on their back, and you learn to throw your own self back. You keep the legs here, but you throw your head back, so that gives the illusion that you're putting all the pressure you can. So if you're there and you're like, ah, and you're holding that hold like you should be selling it, it looks like it's killing, and meantime it's actually mildly uncomfortable. But sometimes that's too much of a lost art. It's not that much different than things a magician does. What you're trying to do is give illusions, and that's a perfect example of one. You've got to lock those legs into a position where you got that little scorpion look on the back of your opponent. And then you keep those legs in place and lean yourself back, your head and your shoulders as far back as you can, because then to the fan, that looks like you're just wrenching it for all it's worth. Big Green, your arm's off. No, it isn't. What's that then? Come on, you pansy. Yeah. Hey, Emma. I'm finally here. Was down the shops. Cool. I'm glad you're in. Nolan says, what's more painful, Kakashi's hidden finger jutsu, 1,000 years of death, or knowing the Paul brothers exist and got rich by being unlikable? Ooh, the Paul brothers. As much as the 1,000 years of death is going to be really uncomfortable, it seems more palatable than the Paul brothers. Russell says, yo, what kind of drugs have you done in the past? No, I never got into them, pal. Just not my thing. Never got into alcohol either, especially with alcohol. I told you guys, I got fallen down drunk once and I tried to kill people. Literally, I had a baseball bat in my hand and my roommate choked me out so I wouldn't beat people with a baseball bat. But that's not why I don't drink. I don't drink because I don't like the taste. And a lot of people drink to loosen themselves up, and I don't need to loosen up any. That would just be bad. But even with drugs, I couldn't tell you how many kills some friends of mine. How many hydros I've been prescribed over the years of wrestling because I was always injured and stuff, and ended up flushing down the toilet because I don't take anything unless I have to. I just don't like to. There were a couple times I had injuries bad enough where it got painful enough that I would take a hydro just so the pain would subside enough to sleep. But a handful of times at most, and then I would throw them away. Noah says, how tall are you? I'm just a little under 6 foot. Just a flesh wound. I've had worse. And Vivid says, no one says, I drink because I'm from Kentucky and feel a legal obligation to consume bourbon whiskey. I get you. It's just like a Russian with vodka. It's just something you need to do. You don't feel like you're being true to your heritage otherwise. Kaiser says, the person may be smart, but can they bring over a wheelbarrow near to where they shovel instead of bringing the shovel over to the wheelbarrow? I may or may not have done that. Kaiser, you're 100% right. That's why the one thing I can say for sure is education does not equal intelligence. An educated person may very well be intelligent, but that's an aside. Education cannot create intelligence. No, and everybody's mind is wired differently. Some people are just wired for certain things that they're brilliant at. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember how the old adage goes, but it's something along the lines of, if climbing a tree is your measure of intelligence, then all fish are morons. It depends on, and all they're trying to say is it's what you know. And so somebody could be a brilliant neurosurgeon and bring the shovel to the wheelbarrow just because of the way their brains are wired. So yes, no, I agree with 100%. The one thing, you cannot buy intelligence. You can't purchase it with a degree. How old am I? 59, Sal. The big one coming in September. Another 0 at the end. B-Man says, is there something funny about the name Biggest Dickus? Correct, there is. Yes. DB Dude says, I'm sorry and I apologize mean the same thing except at a funeral. Jesus, that's pretty good. I like that one, DB Dude. I'm sorry and I apologize mean the same thing except at a funeral. There are a few who call me Tim, Riley. That one has stayed with me forever from Monty Python the Holy Grail, Riley. Every time, I can't help it. It's just one of those, it's a natural reflex like impossible, or reflex like impossible. If I find out somebody's name is Tim, if I'm watching something on TV and it's like, this is my friend Tim, immediately I say, they call me Tim. I have to. If I don't, I'll explode. I'm younger than your mom, Emma? I'm glad to be younger than anybody at this point. That's good too, Yusuf. I like that one too. Roses are green, violets are blue. I'm colorblind. Oh, Lix. She said I got to rewatch that movie soon. I just love that movie. I just get so many laughs out of it. So there's so many little things in it. There are so many things in there I didn't even really catch the first few times. It just one of the all-time greats, one of the all-time classics. Greetings, Tim the Enchanter. Big Green. That and the Bridge Troll is one of the greats too. African or European? Why? I don't know that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Patrick says the Garfield video was so disturbing, especially the part where the guy lost his nail. Oh, that part was just creepy. Oh, that gave me a little chill when he lost his nail. But Meatkin is brilliant. God damn. I love the guy. I love how his mind works. And his animations are just insane. Smoking Reaper says, Curtis, have you heard of the wrestler Suicide from TNA? I don't think so. I used to practice his moves as well. I don't think so. It's not familiar. You're going way back, Philip. Philip says, they call me Mr. Tibbs. Sidney Poitier. Wasn't that, Philip? Yeah, I think that was Poitier. Now, again, That was vital information to have, but that's the kind of stuff that my brain works on remembering, not, unimportant things such as the proper method for inhale, exhale or something. A children's card game, Riley. Did you happen to see the story about Adam Toledo? That's terrible. That's awful. That's awful. I mean, no matter what else is said, he was instructed to drop the weapon and put his hands up, and that's what he did. And he got shot. Oh, B-man. I love bad puns. Hey, Curtis, did you know that in your house you're American, but in your bathroom, European? Yeah, exactly, Big Green. What's your favorite color? Blue. No, yellow. Ah, yeah. Wasn't that Prince Robin? Yeah, that was Prince Robin that says blue, no yellow, because we needed him to go. That's correct. It was Poitier, Philip. I thought so. Call me Mr. Tibbs. I love Sidney Poitier's voice. The original Suicide was Chris Daniels. Was it, Dragon? I don't... That's unusual. Usually I'll remember, eminent wrestlers like that. I don't remember that gimmick, that character. If I looked it up, I might. If I saw it again, maybe it'd trigger it. Oh, was Galahad that said yellow? Was it? Oh, you might be right. Yeah, you might be right. It was Galahad coming up when he's... No, I'm not sure. Don't you mean... I should... Yes. Brave Sir Robin, Lex. Was it Galahad? I can't remember, Burnt. Usually that's something I'm really good on is Monty Python and the Holy Grail trivia. I'm surprised I've forgotten that. You might be right. It is the Rabbit Big Green. Oh, the Killer Bunny. I gave it to Spaz Kid. I think he wore it so much it just got worn out. I had a Killer Bunny baseball style cap. Galahad went first. Okay, so who was Blue No Yellow? Was that Brave Sir Robin? He turned his back and he ran away. Prince Robin. Liar. Lies. Galahad. Okay, so Galahad did get up. He got all the questions right, and that's when everybody else thought it was going to be a piece of cake. Brave Sir Robin died to the cartoon monster or the killer rabbit. I can't remember which. No, the cartoon monster killed his minstrels, right, Philip? I don't think the cartoon monster got... I'm surprised I have so much trouble remembering this. No, I think the cartoon monster just got his minstrels. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. Another great one, DB Dude. Airplane, that's one of the all-time classics, too. The animator suffered a fatal heart attack. I know that was a great moment, too, Damien. They ate the minstrels to survive the winter? Shit, now I'm getting them all confused in my head now. Because I do remember that segue you're talking about where the monster takes an act. I thought he ate the minstrels. Lancelot got the questions right, Riley says. Boy, this is what I can sit here and talk Monty Python the Holy Grail all day. Yeah, you guys could be right. I can't remember. I think we all need to rewatch it to refresh our memories. I think you're right, Big Green. Do you know how many times you guys, of course, all remember the "But she's a witch" scene. At the very end of that, when they get her up on the scales and she ends up weighing out perfectly with the duck, she says something. It took me, I'll bet you, 50 replays because she mumbles it. And I couldn't figure out what the fuck she was saying. It was driving me nuts. And I remember playing that over and over. I don't remember now exactly what it was, but it was something along the lines of, it was a fair test. She basically acquiescing that, it was fair and I lost. But I remember watching that over and over and over, trying to figure out what the hell she said there. Okay, BTG says, Arthur and two knights answered correctly. One got arrested, Lancelot, before the other two crossed. Oh, so he got arrested before the other two? That would be fun. I'll get together in Discord or whatever and we rewatch it. That would be fun, actually. Yeah, that I can watch that movie over and over and over. I'm not a witch. Oh, those were, that whole scene was so great. That's got one of my all-time favorite quotes from it, and it's not one of the ones that's as heavily repeated or as well known. Is what else floats? Very small rocks. I don't know why that always stuck with me, but I love very small rocks. Yeah, when they get arrested at the end. Yeah, and those great British sirens come in. What are you gonna do? Bleed on me, yeah, David. I'm the Black Knight. I'm invincible. You're a loony. Oh God, that's fun. All right, guys, I gotta go. Oh, this has been a great Free for All Friday. Fantastic Free for All Friday. Thank you guys so much for this. And we didn't come to a conclusion with the Dogecoin because it stayed right in between the numbers we set up. We're at 1627 right now. So I'll probably cash out a good hunk of it at some point shortly. I can't see not taking that kind of profit. Kind of crazy not to. Yeah. Oh, BTG. The ending of that movie was a total cop out. That's terrible. Guys, thank you again. Thanks for another great Friday. I can't even, I look more forward to Fridays now than I did back when I was working my day job. And we all know what Fridays are like then when you got the weekend off. And they don't even compare to Free for All Fridays. That's how big a deal it is to me. So, in celebration of the fact that I like Free for All Fridays even better than I liked working Fridays, the sticky stuff is extra inspired, and it's got an extra twinkle for the weekend to it, I guess, type of thing, because it wants to share the Friday love with everybody. Friday is just pre-weekend, balls out, let's go, have a good time, and this sticky stuff embodies all of that. Pampu, pampu, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you. You're going to feel the weekend in that sticky stuff, along with, other things, the usual stuff. But you're going to feel the weekend in that sticky stuff, because we'll bang, okay? Flashy like Buggy. And as always, most importantly, and particularly on Free for All Fridays, goosh, 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 goosh. And I don't care how much this hurts the bad shoulders, I'm going to put something into this one. Goosh. That hurt. It was worth it.